Hold on. Not yet. Elevator open twice, still leaning on the rail. Song playing low enough to hear the lobby air conditioner. Thumb hovering over pause for almost half the track. Screen light fading in my palm, train schedule in the background. Someone brushed past my shoulders in my bed without looking up. I nodded a second late, like my brain came after my body. Keys already in my hand, door already right there. Just stood outside my building, listening through the last refrain. Let it finish first, then I'll move again. One more chorus in my headphones, one more minute standing still. Don't know why the night feels softer through cheap speakers and wet streets. Everything can wait a little till the song lets go of me. Battery warning at 1%, still didn't close the app. Cold air through my jacket sleeve, cars sliding slow past taxis. Someone laughing from a balcony, echoed down between the buildings. The bass line shook a little through the wire in my pocket. Stood there while the crosswalk changed 3 times in a row. Didn't even need to cross, just like the countdown glow. The outro started fading, tiny synth behind the drums. I stay long enough to hear details I missed before. Let it finish first, then I'll move again. One more chorus in my headphones, one more minute standing still. Don't know why the night feels softer through cheap speakers and wet streets. Everything can wait a little till the song lets go of me. Maybe I just needed something, not asking questions tonight. No plans, no messages, no choosing where to go next. Just a slow voice in my ears and the sound of buses stopping nearby. Let it finish first, even if I know the end already. Street lights flickering on parked cars while the last notes blur together. Screen finally turning black, silence rushing back too fast. Stood there for another second before I finally went inside. Not yet. Hold on. Almost over. Okay. Rain wasn't even that heavy. Umbrella hitting my leg every couple steps. Water dripping from the handle onto the cuff of my sweatshirt. Got outside the convenience store, shaking rain off his sleeves. Blue light buzzing overhead, making everybody look half awake. Crosswalk chirping through static taxis, spraying water at the curb. I moved a little slower just to miss the bigger puddles. Someone opened theirs beside me, black fabric catching the wind. Mine stayed folded in my hand the whole walk down the street. Umbrella still closed, rain sliding down my shoulders. Didn't feel like stopping long enough to open anything tonight. Street lights shaking in the water, every step sounding soft. Kept carrying the umbrella anyway, like eventually I'd use it. Stood under a pharmacy sign for maybe 30 seconds, then walked back into the rain before the song switched over. Wet sleeve against my wrist, watch numbers blowing through the drops. Bus doors sighing at the corner, nobody getting off. Someone ran past laughing, trying to cover takeout bags. I looked at my umbrella once, then kept walking like before. Tiny trail of water following me into the the station. Train arriving somewhere below, through the metal floor vents. Umbrella still closed, rain sliding down my shoulders. Didn't feel like stopping long enough to open anything tonight. Street lights shaking in the water, every step sounding soft. Kept carrying the umbrella anyway, like eventually I'd use it. Maybe I liked having something useless in my hands, something to swing beside me while the whole city rushed home. Cold air coming through the tunnel, wet shoes sticking to the stairs. For a second everything slowed down, except everybody else. Umbrella still closed, even after the rain got heavier. Store signs melted into puddles, orange and white across the sidewalk. Finally opened it halfway, then closed it right again. Don't know why that felt easier than standing still long enough. Water dripping from the handle, train noise underneath the street. Umbrella still closed all the way home. Connected, battery high, still nothing. Heard the little connection sound while waiting at the light. Phone buzzing once in my pocket, didn't bother checking why. Earbuds already in, hood pulled halfway down. Walked past 3 different songs without turning one of them on. Someone skating through the crosswalk, wheels rattling over cracks. Bus mirror catching streetlights, then throwing them right back. Press the volume button twice just to see the screen glow. Thumb hovering near the playlist, never actually chose. Never pressed play, still kept walking anyway. City making enough noise tonight through passing tires and subway breaks. Left my headphones in for hours, like I forgot they were there whole night, moving around me while everything stayed quiet inside. Train announcement overhead, cutting through humid air. Someone laughing too loudly outside, folding metal chairs. Battery pop up on the screen, 87%. Same album sitting paused where I left it yesterday. Stood beside a crosswalk timer, watching numbers disappear. Wind moving through billboard paper, making static in one ear. Finally opened the music app and locked the phone again. Felt easier hearing sneakers scrape against the sidewalk instead. Never pressed play, still kept walking anyway. City making enough noise tonight through passing tires and subway breaks. Left my headphones in for hours, like I forgot they were there whole night, moving around me while everything stayed quiet inside. Maybe I just wanted something near me without talking, something soft enough not to ask how the night went. Headlights sliding across windows, elevator humming somewhere upstairs. For a minute the whole city sounded half asleep with me. Never pressed play, even after getting home. Stood inside the doorway listening to the fridge buzz in the kitchen. Earbuds still connected, blue light blinking near my sleeve. Didn't notice till much later, nothing ever started playing. Connected, battery high, still no music all night long. I still moving around in there. I sipped disappeared a while ago, still carrying the cup around. Water sliding down the plastic onto my fingertips now. Ice knocking against the lid. Every couple steps, same rhythm as the crosswalk sound under flickering LEDs. Walk past the trash can twice without throwing anything out. Straw bent near the middle from spinning it around. Someone riding past on a bike, music leaking from a backpack. Wind pushed napkins through the street, then everything went quiet again. Still shaking the ice like there's something left inside. Cold cup against my palm all the way through the night. Don't know why I kept holding it long after it was done. Tiny sounds in the plastic lid following me home. Stood outside an apartment gate, watching numbers blink upstairs. Melted ice getting smaller every time I tip the cup back. Someone laughing from the stairwell, echo bouncing through the alley. Train brakes screaming somewhere distant, then fading underneath traffic. Thumb pressing dents into the label, peeling little pieces off. Condensation on my sleeve from carrying it too long. Finally checked the bottom, nothing there except a cube. Still shook it absent-minded through another red light too. Still shaking the ice like there's something left inside. Cold cup against my palm all the way through the night. Don't know why I kept holding it long after it was done. Tiny sounds in the plastic lid following me home. Maybe I just liked having something making noise beside me, something small enough not to ask where I was headed. Street lights reflecting off wet cars, earth smelling faintly like rain. Whole city moving slowly while I stayed in the same pace. Still shaking the ice even after getting home. Standing in the kitchen doorway, jacket still halfway on. Finally dropped the empty cup, heard the cubes hit the sink. Silence got louder after that than I expected it to be. Ice against plastic, soft little echoes. Nothing left in the cup, still carrying it anyway. Wasn't even thinking, just walking.
Cross when they cross, stop when they stopped. Almost walked into a florist without noticing once. Phone still glowing in my hand, same unread message there. Train passing overhead, shaking light across their head. They checked the time in a window, I checked mine too. Didn't even know why, just something to do. Left turn at the corner store, I followed that turn. Only realized later, I don't even go there. Cab matching somebody else's pace, half awake on purpose again. Street lights moving across their cold, like the night knew both of us. Didn't ask where they were going, didn't need a reason, yeah. Somehow my feet kept going too, like they already knew the steps, yeah. They paused near a vending machine, so I slowed down too, pretending I was looking for a drink I never choose. Car passed playing something old, baseline through the rain. They fixed their sleeve once I did the same. Green light came and went, neither of us moved. Someone behind us sighed like we broke the rules. 3 more blocks went by, quiet as fog glass. I finally looked around, didn't recognize the path. Kept Can't mention somebody else's pace. Half awake on purpose again. Streetlights moving across their coat like the night knew both of us. Didn't ask where they were going, didn't need a reason yet. Somehow my feet kept going too, like they already knew the steps, yeah. Maybe I just like not choosing anything tonight. Maybe following shadows felt easier than heading back. Somewhere between the crosswalk noise and the shaking subway rails, I forgot what direction was supposed to mean. Still matching somebody else's pace, way past where I should have turned. Store signs flickering on wet glass, everything soft around the edges. They disappeared near the buses, I kept walking anyway. Same slow rhythm in my shoes, long after they were gone. Cross when they crossed, stop when they stopped. Wasn't thinking about anything until I finally looked up.
Train approaching, stand clear of the doors. Wind hitting through the tunnel, pushing my hoodie strings back. Yellow line under my shoes, half peeling near the cracks. Train lights sliding closer, reflection in the glass. People standing up early before it fully stopped. Doors open with that soft tone, everyone moved at once. I stepped a little sideways, just enough to let them off. Someone ran in last second, backpack caught in the door. I watched the warning lights blink and stayed where I was before. Next one's fine, don't mind waiting tonight. Watch the doors close slowly while the platform shook beneath me. Didn't really miss it, didn't really choose to stay. Just stood there listening to the tracks hum after it left. Screen above the platform changed to 4 more minutes. Someone sat beside me, then walked further down to sit. Train map glowing overhead, same stations every night. Gum wrappers near the benches moving slightly in the tunnel air. Check my phone without unlocking it, put it back again. Announcement voice cutting out through old ceiling speakers. Another train passed, opposite faces blurred in the windows. For a second everybody looked like they were headed somewhere certain. Next one's fun, don't mind waiting tonight. Watch the doors close slowly while the platform shook beneath me. Didn't really miss it, didn't really choose to stay. Just stood there listening to the tracks hum after it left. Maybe I liked having nowhere to be for 4 more minutes. Cold metal bench beside me, air smelling faintly like rain upstairs. Whole station buzzing quietly, like it never fully sleeps. Just keeps moving underneath the city, whether anybody boards or not. Next one's fine, even after the next one came to. Same announcement, repeating softly, same wind rushing through the tunnel. Finally stepped inside one, right before the door shut. Still watched the empty platform until it disappeared into black. Stand clear of the doors, next train arriving shortly. Platform shaking, screen lighting up again for no reason. Brightness going up and down while the room stayed mostly dark. Thumb sliding across the bar without opening any apps. Same lock screen for an hour, same time stuck near 2:15. Charging cable twisted once around the edge of my sheets. Street light cutting through the blinds and thin lines across the floor. Someone upstairs dropping something and everything went quiet more. Phone lighting up my sleeve every couple minutes. Kept checking nothing at all, like I forgot what I wanted. Sliding it back down, then raising it again. Blue light on my hands tonight while the whole apartment stayed still. Didn't text anybody, didn't search for anything. Just watched the screen glow softly, then dim into the dark again. Battery sitting at 30, but I plugged it in twice. Opened the camera once, then closed it without looking. Reflection in the black screen, barely catching half my face. Air conditioner humming low through the corner of the place. Kept flipping the phone over every time it buzzed a little. Half the notifications gone before I even read them. Outside, somebody's headlights moved slowly across the ceiling, then disappeared near the window like they were never there. Sliding it back down, then raising it again. Blue light on my hands tonight while the whole apartment stayed still. Didn't text anybody, didn't search for anything. Just watched the screen glow softly, then dim into the dark again. Maybe I just needed something small to keep adjusting, something quiet enough not to change the night too much. Clock light near the kitchen, buzzing faintly in the dark. Whole room barely moving, except my thumb across the screen. Sliding it back down, even after getting tired. Phone face down on the blanket, still lighting through the fabric. Finally let the screen go black for longer than before. Room getting softer slowly once nothing else was glowing. Screen fading out again, thumb still near the brightness bar. 2:17 in the morning, nothing really happening. Rain stopped a while ago, water's still moving though. Thin lines running downhill through the cracks beside my shoes. Street light shaking in the puddles, every step breaking the view. Follow the water past the buses, past a closed repair shop. Small stream curling near the curbside, like it already knew where to stop. Someone dragged a bike uphill, tire cutting through the reflection. I slowed down near a drain pipe, watching wrappers float in circles. Left sleeve still slightly wet from earlier in the night. Cold air slipping underneath it every time the wind changed sides. Followed the water down through streets I didn't plan on taking. Little rivers on the sidewalk, pulling me block after block. Didn't really think about it, just kept matching where it went. Whole city dripping quietly under orange traffic lights. Crosswalk paint shining brighter, with the pavement so dark gray. Tiny waves around my sneakers every time a car passed by. Water slipping around, leaves caught beside a storm drain. For a second I stopped walking just to watch it move again. Someone closing metal shutters, echo ringing down the alley. Train passing somewhere distant underneath the sound of tires. Turned another corner slowly, still following the same stream. Didn't notice how far I'd gone until the road started sloping back up. Followed the water down through streets I didn't plan on taking. Little rivers on the sidewalk, pulling me block after block. Didn't really think about it, just kept matching where it went. Whole city dripping quietly under orange traffic lights. Maybe I lied, not being the one deciding direction, just letting something smaller move first for once tonight. Rainwater sliding past my shoes towards somewhere underground. Whole street breathing softly after everybody went inside. Followed the water down till the puddles started thinning out. Sidewalk almost dry again, except the edges near the curb. Finally looked up from the ground, store signs buzzing overhead. Realized I'd been walking slowly for almost the whole night. Water slipping through the cracks, street lights moving when it rippled. Rain already gone, still following what it left behind. Door closed behind me, didn't move much after that. Wet laces dragging slightly across the edge of the floor. Hallway lights still on behind me, back slipping off one shoulder. Sat down near the bed frame without taking anything off. Rainwater darkening the carpet in uneven little spots. Keys sitting in my palm still, long after I got inside. Hoodie smelling faintly like outside, cold air trapped in the fabric. Someone's TV through the wall, laugh track cutting in and out. I stared at one loose shoelace for longer than I meant to. Didn't untie my shoes, just stayed sitting there a while. Water dripping from the laces, quiet in the apartment light. Home lights still stuck on me in little cold details, like I hadn't fully gotten home. Even after closing the door, phone buzzing once beside me, screen lighting up the blanket. Didn't even turn to check it, just listened till it stopped. Jacket sleeve still damp near the cuff from leaning against the train door. One side colder than the other from stepping in deeper water. Finally losing one shoelace, then stopped halfway through. Watched steam rise from a paper cup left sitting near the window. Cars moving somewhere below, through rain-soaked tire sounds. Every room felt softer now, except the floor beneath my feet. Didn't untie my shoes, just stayed sitting there a while. Water dripping from the laces, quiet in the apartment light. Home lights still stuck on me in little cold details, like I hadn't fully gotten home. Even after closing the door, maybe I just needed a minute before becoming still again. Something about coming inside felt slower tonight. Hallway light buzzing faintly through the crack beneath the door. Whole apartment half asleep while I sat there not moving much. Didn't untie my shoes till the floor almost dry beneath them. City noise fading outside into low distant traffic. Finally lean back slowly, laces loose against the carpet. Night still hanging from my clothes, long after the rain had stopped. Laces on the floor, hallway lights still glowing. Didn't untie my shoes for the longest time.
Yeah. Already ordered though. Screen changed twice above the counter, still standing underneath it. Combo names sliding past while I kept reading everyone. Receipt folded in my hand, corners getting soft from sweat. Cashier wiped the same spot down without looking up yet. Someone grabbed their order quickly, door chime behind their back. Ice shifting in paper cups somewhere near the soda machine. I already knew what I got before I walked inside. Still stared at the glowing menu like I missed something the first time. Still reading the menu after paying for my food. Bright pictures changing overhead while everybody else moved on. Didn't need more time, didn't really have a reason. Just stood there near the counter lights like I forgot where to go next. Number 27 called twice before somebody picked it up. Kid near the ketchup station dropping fries across the floor. Thumb running down the receipt over prices I already saw. Drink machine humming louder than the conversation nearby. Looked at the dessert section without wanting any of it. Watched the breakfast menu appear even though it wasn't morning yet. Someone brushed past my shoulder, reaching for extra napkins. I stepped aside automatically. I still stuck on the screen, still reading the menu after paying for my food. Bright pictures changing overhead while everybody else moved on. Didn't need more time, didn't really have a reason. Just stood there near the counter lights like I forgot where to go next. Maybe I just liked having something simple to look at tonight. Something already decided before I even got there. Fluorescent lights above me, buzzing into the late hours. Whole place smelling like fries and rain from jackets drying near the door. Still reading the menu long after my number got called. Tray getting colder beside me while the screen kept rotating combos. Finally picked the bag up slowly, pushed through the glass door window. Still thinking about nothing much except the way the lights looked inside. Ooh, screen changed again. Same combo pictures, still reading the menu. For no reason at all. Floor lights still on upstairs, even though
though everything was closed. Escalator wasn't moving, still stepped onto it slow. Footsteps echoing louder than they probably should've. Hands sliding on the rubber rail, out of habit, more than balanced. Directory screens glowing dim next to folded metal gates. Cleaning machine somewhere distant, buzzing through the empty floor. One store sign flickering softly near the darkened food court. Walked up one step at a time, like the stairs were still alive. Even checked the floor numbers halfway to the top. Still took the escalator, even with the power off. Whole place quiet enough tonight to hear my jacket move. Lights reflecting on the handrail, every step a little hollow. Didn't really need to go upstairs, just kept moving anyway. Second floor almost empty, except a worker stacking chairs. Vending machine humming softly near the locked arcade entrance. Stood beside the railing once, looking down at nothing much. Music leaking from one ear, but too low to recognize the song. Past the mirror near the corner, barely glanced at my reflection. Air conditioner still running through the closed apartment lights. Walk back down the same escalator, still not moving underneath me. Shoe soles squeaking slightly against the metal grooves. Still took the escalator, even with the power off. Whole place quiet enough tonight to hear my jacket move. Lights reflecting on the handrail, every step a little hollow. Didn't really need to go upstairs, just kept moving anyway. Maybe I just liked how slow everything felt in there. Empty floors after closing time felt softer than the streets outside. Fluorescent lights above me, buzzing into the late hours. Whole building half asleep, while I wandered through it quietly. Still took the escalator one last time before leaving. Store signs fading behind me, through the glass doors downstairs. Finally stepped back outside, cold air rushing through my sleeves. City noise returning slowly after all the empty echoes. Escalator standing still, hands sliding on the rail. Whole place already closed, still walk through it anyway. Didn't notice I was doing it till halfway down the block. Kept stepping on the darker tiles between the cracks in the street. Toe lining up with fading marks without looking anywhere else. Water sitting in the corners of uneven concrete squares. Street light shadows cutting sideways across the ground near my feet. Changed direction once at the crosswalk just to stay on the same line. Someone brushed past laughing loudly while I kept staring downwards. You tip-tapping broken edges near a drain beside the curb. Whole city moving around me while I follow shapes in the floor. Stayed on the same line all the way through the night. Footsteps matching little patterns nobody else could really see. Didn't think about where I was going, just kept tracing cracks and colors. Every block blending together under blurry traffic lights. Missed a tile and stepped back twice without even thinking first. Tiny puddles near the corner, shaking every time cars pass. Phone buzz somewhere in my pocket, didn't stop to check the screen. Wind pushing leaves in circles against against the edge of my shoes. Walk sign blinking overhead, counting down above the intersection. I cross slower than the others, trying not to lose the pattern. Looked up for half a second, almost lost where I was stepping, then found another faded line running all the way downhill. Stayed on the same line all the way through the night. Footsteps matching little patterns nobody else could really see. Didn't think about where I was going, just kept tracing cracks and colors. Every block blending together under blurry traffic lights. Maybe I just liked having something small to follow, something quiet enough not to change the night too much. Cold air around my sleeve, street buzzing somewhere behind me. Whole city feeling distant while the sidewalks stay close. Stayed on the same line till the tiles turned into asphalt. Water reflections getting thinner, closer to my apartment street. Finally looked up slowly, light stretching above the road. Realized I've been walking home without noticing it once. Shoe tips crossing faded cracks, streetlights shaking in puddles. Stayed on the same line, almost the whole way home. Thought it stopped moving, and the wind changed again. Small newspaper in the gutter, folded in on itself, slid across the sidewalk slowly when the late bus pulled away. Changed direction near the crosswalk, so I followed it a little. Shoe tips turning with the paper without thinking much about it. Almost caught beneath the taxi, then lifted back into the air. Street lights shaking through the west spots underneath the moving shadows. Someone passed me carrying groceries, looked back once then kept walking. I was still near the corner curb, watching papers skip in circles. Blew past me again, right when I thought it stopped. Little scraps moving through the street like they knew where they were going. Kept changing sides with the wind down blocks I didn't notice. Whole city cold and half asleep while I follow something weightless. Caught against a storm drain briefly, then slipped loose when cars went by. Headlights stretching over puddles every time the traffic changed. Paper edges getting darker from the water near the curb. One side stuck against my sneaker for half a second at the light. Turned another corner slowly after it rolled downhill. Lost it once beside a railing and saw it lift again. Train noise somewhere underneath me, vending machine buzzing nearby. Wind pushing rappers through the alley, all moving in different directions. Blew past me again, right when I thought it stopped. Little scraps moving through the street like they knew where they were going. Kept changing sides with the wind down blocks I didn't notice. Whole city cold and half asleep while I follow something weightless. Maybe I just liked not being the only thing drifting tonight. Cold air through my sleeve, hands deep in my pockets. Every block feeling temporary under the orange street lights. Blew past me again. Blew past me again. Toward the quieter part of town. Paper catching little whirlwinds near the empty intersections. Finally disappeared somewhere under parked cars in the dark. Still stood there a little longer, looking where it used to move. When changing directions, finally stopped, then it moved again. Didn't even mean to start doing it. Yeah. Yellow taxi slowing near the corner, numbers glowing through the rain. Last 4 digits on the plate, gone before I read them twice. Headlights stretching on the pavement, red lights flickering in puddles. Crosswalk timer counting down while traffic rolled past slowly. Kept looking at the license plates every time another stopped. Didn't remember any of them after they pulled away again. Someone smoking near the station, hood pulled tight against the wind. Bus brakes screeching somewhere distant underneath the late night traffic. Last 4 digits passing by in blur white light. Every car stopping briefly, then disappearing down the avenue. Kept checking every number without knowing why tonight. Whole city moving in patterns I couldn't hold on to for long. Yeah, cab window glowing blue from somebody's phone inside. Water dripping from the mirrors onto painted parking lines. A green signal turning yellow, reflections breaking underneath tires. Numbers sliding past too quickly every time the lane moved forward. Still beside the newspaper box, watching headlights bend around corners. Almost missed the walk sign changing while another taxi slowed nearby. Yeah. Memorized one plate for half a block, then forgot it at the next light. When pushing receipts through the gutter in the same direction as the cars. Last 4 digits passing by in blur white light. Every car stopping briefly, then disappearing down the avenue. Kept checking every number without knowing why tonight. Whole city moving in patterns I couldn't hold on to for long. Maybe I just liked how every number looked important for a second. Small glowing details appearing and vanishing at red lights. Cold air through my sleeve, street humming underneath it all. Every intersection changing slowly while I stayed near the curb. Last 4 digits fading underneath wet headlights. Traffic getting thinner now, further down the quieter streets. Finally stopped looking up when the taxis almost disappeared. Still saw numbers passing softly every time I crossed the road. Last 4 digits, gone before I kept them. Rain moving under tires all night long. When kept catching the brim again. Pulled the cab lower at the crosswalk, then pushed it back halfway up. Street lights sliding across the logo. Every time I look down, walking, hands cold against the brim edge. Thumb brushing loose threads twice. Bus windows glowing beside me while traffic rolled through puddles. Adjusted it in every reflection. Store glass, train doors, parked cars. Didn't even notice doing it till my wrist started getting tired. Someone laughing outside a bar, music leaking through the doorway. Cap shadow cutting across my face under orange street lights. Brim Low, then back up again. Whole night moving through my hands every couple blocks or so. Wind underneath the cafe, city buzzing soft. collar cap sitting slightly crooked, train passing overhead slowly, shaking light across the sidewalk. Looked up when headlights flashed, pulled the brim down automatically, one shoe splashing through shallow water. Near the edge of the curb, stopped near a red signal briefly, adjusted the fit again, finger pressing the front seat flat without thinking much about it. Walked past dark apartment windows, catching pieces of my reflection, brim shadow moving differently every time I change direction. Brim low, then back up again, whole night, moving through my hands every couple blocks or so. When underneath the cap edge, city buzzing soft around me, kept fixing something that wasn't wrong all the way home. Maybe I just like having something small to keep adjusting. Cold air through my sleeves, traffic lights changing behind me, whole street half asleep tonight, while my hands stayed busy, 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 busy. Brim low, even have to get inside. Hallway mirror near the elevator, catching one last adjustment. Finally tossed the cap down onto the edge of the chair, still reach for it once more before turning off the light. When under the brand street lights across the logo, kept pulling it lower all night long. Only one part of the sign still worked. Blue light blinking above the alley every 4 or 5 seconds. Half the letters already dark, except the one still flickering. Stop near the vending machines without buying anything there. Watch the lights skip on and off against the wet pavement lines. Bugs circling near the wiring, tiny shadow on the wall. Train sound underneath the street, vibrating through the metal sign. Someone passed me talking loudly, didn't catch a word they said. Still staring at the same letter, lighting up and disappearing again. Flickering letter over the empty street, same blue light flashing softly through the cold night air. Stood there longer than I meant to, watching it blink unevenly, whole city moving around me, while that one light stayed confused, reflection breaking in a puddle every time the sign came back. Wind pushing paper cups slowly near the edge of the sidewalk. Counted the pause between the flashes without deciding to. Cars rolled through the intersection, painting red across the curb. Someone locked the laundromat door, chains rattling in the distance. Light from the broken sign still shaking across the windows. Looked away for half a second, then checked if it was still blinking, like it might stop suddenly right after I stopped watching. Flickering letter over the empty street, same blue light flashing softly through the cold night air. Stood there longer than I meant to, watching it blink unevenly, whole city moving around me, while that one light stayed confused. Maybe I just liked how imperfect it looked from far away. Quiet little mistakes still glowing after midnight. Cold air moving through my sleeves, traffic coming somewhere uphill. Whole block almost silent now, except the buzzing overhead. Flickering letter at the corner, waiting for it to turn back on. The light over the alley, buzzing above the sidewalk. One letter still flickering long after everything closed.